The first game that I bought in 2023 was a title that seems to scare people off with its lack of theme, Toledo. Now, on the back of the box, it reads, "Welcome in early Renaissance Europe!" Exclamation mark. Honestly, who was this written for? Who is getting excited by that sentence? It's hard for me to even convince people to just give it a chance. And honestly, let's be honest, it's 2024. My two most anticipated games coming this year are a thematic adventure game, The Elder Scrolls by Chip Theory Games, spiritual successor to the excellent Too Many Bones, and Unconscious Minds, a heavy Euro where you're treating patients as a psychologist by analyzing their dreams. Rich themes, vibrant art, gorgeous graphic design, and of course, most importantly, what appear to be engaging, chunky, and fun mechanisms. Mechanisms that work with the theme to bring it to life. Even if the theme is a little boring for me, like a generic fantasy setting I don't have any ties to, the mechanism should bring me into the world and evoke a feeling, really evoke anything. Toledo, not so much. It's really just a collection of interesting mechanisms. And honestly, if the mechanisms are good enough, I can still absolutely fall in love with a game. But if you want to convince people that a game's theme is optional, really, you need to look at what I deem to be some of the heaviest hitters, the absolute greatest games of all time, or at least the greatest games that might as well not even have a theme. I'm Man Seeking Meeple, and let's take a gander. Now, to find the best themeless games, we have to go back, way back to a time where a stern and grumpy man on the box was a badge of honor and prestige, a badge that showed it was a game to be taken seriously, not a toy for children, but a tournament of intellect. This came at a time where thematic games were known as Amera trash, with a very negative connotation, to be a random luck fest that lacked any semblance of strategy. So, to let players know exactly what they were getting, games leaned heavily away from theme and deeply into strategy. Now, some of these themingly barren games that came out were, frankly, boring, but others have stood the test of time and remain as all-time greats. So, let's rewind to 1995. The year that I proclaim to be the dawn of modern board gaming. It had two of the most legendary and influential games come out. Those were, as I'm sure you've heard of, The Settlers of Catan. But the other may just be my favorite, or at least among my very favorite games of all time. And that is El Grande. Now, by the look of the box, you know you're in for a crunchy good time. No smiling, just mechanics. And lo and behold, when you open the box, you find a sprawling map of Spain showing only the beigest of beige colors, cubes upon cubes, and this thing? But inside this box, beneath the veneer of a Spanish contest for supremacy, lies the cleanest, the purest, and painstakingly cleverest area control feud one can experience. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think El Grande may be the most elegant game design that I've ever played. The rules are simple, but the depth is infinite. I never have felt like a Spanish revolutionary in all my years of playing this game. But that does not detract from the fact that El Grande really is one of the greatest games of all time. So let's jump forward in time 14 years. What comes onto the scene is a game that I couldn't even tell you the theme of, even if I tried. All I could say is it's a Euro. And just look at this face. You know it's going to be good when you see a face that drab. Hansa Teutonica decided not to get its feet dirty with even a veneer of theme. No. Instead, it decided to just put its mechanics front and center. Place cubes or discs on drab-looking map, hopefully in other players' waves. Because then you can be displaced and place more cubes for free. Finish a path between two cities and boom! You can place a house down or remove pieces from your player boards so that all your turns can be more and more efficient from here on out. That's the game. Minus the scoring rules. It's just so easy and quick to play, and yet it's incredibly tense and satisfying. This is a full-flavored meal, but in just a fraction of the time. And that's where the magic of these dusty old Euros really comes. Instead of just focusing on integrating thematic mechanisms, designers could just focus on what works, what's fun. Continuity and consistency be darned. It's all about that gameplay. Fast forward another 2 years, and we get as likely the most famous game on this list. A game that doesn't really need an introduction. You probably already know that Castles of Burgundy is about, well, honestly, it's about getting points, and that's about it. How do you get those points? Well, by playing dice that correlate to different actions, all of which can bring you points. Sound good? Probably not from that description, but it is good. Good enough to remake with more than just 3 colors and charge people over $300 for. And people paid. Why? Well, it's not because of the theme, I can tell you that much. It's because simple mechanisms that tie together in an intricate web of points can be fun. And even if that's all a game is about. Okay, taking another step, we get to what is the magnum opus of the master of the rondel. Matt Gertz has made a wide variety of games with the central conceit that not every action will always be available to the player. You'd have to go around on a rondel before you can take that action again, or at least pay a little extra to do so. But in 2013, he revolutionized this famous rondel system by replacing it with cards. In Concordia, each turn you select a card for an action. But to take that action again, you must draw all the cards from your discard pile back into your hand as an action. That, or purchase additional cards with additional in-game scoring. What a clever and fun and immediately intuitive design. And it's all in an exciting world of, well, building buildings around the Mediterranean. I really don't know what the theme is for this game either, but it doesn't stop it from being one of my absolute favorites, just to sit back and play. I love to win. I love to lose. I just love to play Concordia. The gameplay is enough to merit the fun. And the last game that I have on my list is from one of my favorite designers/teams involving the Italian designer Simone Luciani, Lorenzo Il Magnifico. Here, you play as Italian nobles vying for prestige with the church and glory. Honestly, I could fall asleep describing the setting. The gameplay, it's an engine-building, dice placement delight, with the extra challenge that everyone has to grapple with each other each round using the same dice rolls. Just these 3. It's a lovingly crafted game and further proof that theme isn't what makes a game good. Mechanisms are. That said, with a long history of applying interesting themes to brilliant mechanisms that exist now, I think publishers should feel an obligation to at least try to make their games look and feel interesting, compelling, exciting, and fun. Theme can draw you in. Art can immerse you into a world. Mechanisms that correlate to rational thematic ties can be easier to remember and just make sense. I started this video discussing my woes with Toledo. Toledo, is it a good game? Yeah. But could it have been more inviting with a little bit more flavor? Absolutely yes. All in all, there are so many amazing games out there. Some of the best games ever lack in the imagination department, but more than make up for it in their gameplay. Gameplay really is king. And I hope I've led you on the right path to at least try a few of the best oldies and experience the joy that is board games. Thanks for watching. Now, if you stuck to the end, I just want to say thanks. It's been a long time since I've done this. I have been really sick, as many of you know. A lot of you have reached out to me and been really kind and said lots of kind words. And last year, I decided that I was just too sick, too busy getting back into work, trying to spend time with my family and balance just life. And I decided to just walk away, kind of right at the beginning, the inception of what I'm trying to do. But I'm feeling a lot better now. I'm hoping that I can come in swinging and get more and more videos. I've got a few hints as to some of the bigger reviews that I have coming down the pipeline. I'm really excited for this year. Last year, I kind of took a step away, not just from making videos, but kind of experimenting with new board games. I didn't go to any board game conventions last year, but this year I'm already going to start with a bang. I'm going to lots of board game conventions. I'm going to try and play as many new games as I possibly can. And I'm just so excited to share a little bit more of my passion this year. Probably a little too much information for most of you, but if you stuck this far, honestly, thank you so much. I hope you've come around again for the next video. Bye.